Well, the spur was, and that this was a old dozer line that had been tank trapped and water burned all the way up.
Yeah.
That we walked.
So what we're really looking for where we don't have a lot of slope and erosion issues is to try to get the contour of the land back. I mean, how does it look on the low side of the line? How does it look on the top side of the line? And just try to match that. Try to get it. We don't want smooth lines where water runs across. If they're choppy and they've got little swales and stuff in them, that helps slow the water down and gives them recharge percolation places so it doesn't build up speed. The final thing is we don't want to move the water. The water is going to end up doing what the water wants. We want it to percolate in. We don't want to channelize it and move it and make an erosion problem elsewhere. So if we can just pull all the soil back, pull all the vegetation matter on top of it, kind of walk it in, crush it in, incorporate it into the soil, we shouldn't need a lot of water bars, but only in the steepest spots. So let's just think recontour, whether we're doing it with the equipment or by hand. That's what our final state we would like to look like.
So I'm thinking you can have a read with the crews all the time.
Yes.
So that water bar location in my mind is going to be a read call of determining whether they think that we need to put those water bars in to deflect water, and otherwise we won't be putting water bars in.
Right. And we have nice pictures and line drawings of water bars that work in a perfect world. Up here, if the spec says 1 every 40 feet, but we see a natural water channel 50 feet, let's use that natural water channel. That's where it's going to end up anyway, eventually. Some of this vegetative material incorporated into the berms, that's going to be our hardest point with the hand crews. If we're able to break these berms down, get the vegetation in, and the soil back, we'll know a lot more which lines we can and can't use hand crews. So this might be a little excessive here, but it gives everybody.
Don't underestimate them, man. It
gives everybody a good view on. Yeah.
But I think the soil's pretty forgiving here for us for that regard.
Right.
It's going to be pretty loose even in these berm piles for the most part.
Yeah, and if we didn't have that rain, it would have even been a little bit more unconsolidated and easier. But so we have basic thought is just pull both berms back towards the middle and recontour. And at this point, we're not gonna cut any extra vegetation to put on the lines. We'll grab whatever we can and bring it back. And if we're in a highly erodible area and we have no cover, we'll come up with a special plan on that. Wood straw, rice straw, or something else. But for our basic spec is to just use whatever vegetation we have available. And it's really important to not just lay it on the top, but try to walk it in, crush it in, get it all in contact with the soil.
On that, sometimes if you have big chunks, big stuff, if you cut it up a little bit smaller so it can spread and contact the ground, that's a good thing.
Yep.
Also, with the reeds, especially at the beginning, yeah, we're probably going to be there a lot, but we hope that we can build the trust and the eye for you guys that you know what you're doing, and then at some point we won't be around quite as much. We'll still come around and we'll be on the divisions to help answer questions and stuff. But we do hope that we don't have to be there all the time looking over you guys. We trust you guys, and you guys are good hard workers and are going to learn how to do this pretty quickly.
So
one advantage of having federal crews, agency crews, is you guys care about what we leave out here. So that's going to be a benefit to us.
we're all land managers.
Where you have the comfort with mechanized equipment, we can chunk up to
Oh
for
yeah.
you too. So wherever you're comfortable with that, we have that
Yeah.
ability if the resources come in.
Unless the ARCs tell me no, yes, I am way comfortable with that. Just make them rough and just keep that water in place as much as we can.
two other things I'm thinking, you guys are pulling stuff, so start at the high point, drag it down the hill rather than trying to drag it up the hill. And you didn't mention it, but I think any logs that we're leaving, we want to put them cross slope so that they act as diversions and catches for water, just move it around.
And sometimes it helps just to pull the vegetation out of the berm and bank it just for a moment until you get to the soil, get it all dealt with, and then take that banked vegetation and put it across the line. You know, every crew's going to figure out their own way of how to do it, so we're not going to hamstring you on how to do it, just how we want it to look.
That would be my
And stay
recommendation
there.
as well.
Yes.
Just kind of swamp it out ahead of you as you get folks in to work the soil, and then you can pull the vegetation back in.
David, do you have anything you want to add?
I guess I want to say, I know there's a lot of experience, a lot of people have done repair work like this on fires, and each fire has a little bit of different perspective of what they want to see done for their repair on the forest. So we're just trying to share some of the specs that we're hoping to achieve on this fire, and the specs in the repair plan. Everything we're describing is described in the repair plan as well. So we're going away from water bars, which I know in some fires are very common. That's like the main repair spec. So we're looking instead for cover and recontouring to hopefully restore some of that natural drainage and not have to put water bars in. You know, there's going to be a place for those, but if we can avoid using them, there's some kind of long-term benefits to not using water bars if we don't need to, and sometimes they're ineffective when we put them in. So
Cool.
we'll try to be flexible too. That's all I got.
So once we pull in stuff and it looks like this, or even rougher, great. We're not golfing here. If it's rough, beat up, just we need to break those berms down so it drains right, and the roughness holds the water so it doesn't drain too fast. It all works hand in hand.